Woo! Okay, we're rolling here. What a beautiful February day out here in Oak Bay. This is also Lekwungen territory. And this is a second part to my garage bust video. And if you haven't watched that one, go watch it. There's like 100,000 views across different platforms. There's a long form video on my YouTube here, and there's a short form. But basically I filmed being busted by the inspector on my garage conversion, which I had no permits for because the building was built in the 1930s or 40s and was in crouching setbacks. And so I decided to see what I could do and see if I could get it grandfathered in instead of trying to apply for a building permit. Had we tried to apply for a building permit, likely they would have made us get a variant, try to get a variance, or move the building 2 feet. And I wasn't about to do that. So I started building that, and when one of the neighbors, maybe a Karen, called the city on us, they came to inspect. I filmed it, and it turned out that the city got back to us and it was legal non-conforming. And so I'm doing some videos. I'll be doing some videos about that build, showing you finishing that up. The siding's complete. Now I just need to do the interior. And I wanted to tell you a little bit about this area. And because I live on Vancouver Island, I live in Victoria, I explore all over, and the history here is incredible. And the natural beauty is just like world class. So behind me is Oak Bay. So that's old. This is old, very sacred area, right? This is a village site, Lekwungen territory, right? And so along the shores there, for thousands of years, there was longhouses. There's abundance of driftwood that would wash up on the beach, and they would use that to create longhouses. And I think this is like a seasonal village where they'd come, and there's an abundance of sea life and deers that they'd harvest, and then, they'd be harvesting and maybe telling stories and living their lives here. There's an ancient, beautiful, amazing ancient salmon runs around here. I'll drop a link to a video, but there's Discovery Island right there off the point. Super cool story about Takaya the wolf, the lone wolf that swam and lived on that island for many years. And it's pretty incredible because I've had to save friends here in canoes because of the rips, the currents here. They're like 7 to 10 knots, maybe more, when the tide really starts to roll through. In the background, in the mountains, if you can see them, that's Cascade Mountains, that's Washington. And then, so Oak Bay is like a notoriously kind of snooty, upscale, uppity neighborhood. And so when the neighbor called, called the city, I was definitely very nervous about what was going to happen. I thought they'd give us a stop order, but they didn't. And the reason why I'm pushing, I'm a builder. I didn't introduce myself. My name's Jake, the owner of Endwise Construction. And for me, over my 10 years on the island here, I've done a lot of building. I've built for rich clients, and they have amazing toys and amazing things to play with. And then I've worked for other people that are just trying to get by and do what they can, because it's incredibly hard these days to live. It's incredibly expensive here in Victoria. A lot of my friends are moving away because it's just unrealistic to buy a house here, and we're in a housing crisis. And so wherever I can, I'll build suites. I'll do creative solutions for people so they can maybe keep their kids home longer while they go to university and have a small dwelling that's separate from their house, or, do 10 by 10s, or do, a legal suite here or there, or, legal non-conforming, whatever it takes. This is how we have to change. There is a lot of builds going on of condos and things like that in this area, but even that is hard for people to get into that are my age or younger. And so I think the solution comes from us, from the people who own, build and create, and the builders. Wherever you can, create more houses because it's needed, right? And so, yes, so this area I wanted to tell you a little bit about, and as a precursor to what I'm about to share in the next video, likely on Sunday, where I built a house unknowingly on an old Coast Salish village site. And I had never had experiences like this before, but I started having like weird spirit kind of ghosty experiences. And I started to consult whoever I could, the Coast Salish people. I consulted elders in the Cowichan tribes. I consulted my boss. I told my boss he consulted the chief of the Wasanich Nation. And so today I'm going up island to check a job in Yubu. Yubu. I always say that one wrong. Yeah, Yubu. I'm going to check that out. On the way up, I'm going to maybe stop in this area where I built that house and just kind of listen and see if I'm allowed to tell that story, see if it feels right. And I'll take you along on this trip in the next video, showing you a little bit of the island. And yes, I think this is part of the problem of where we're at with society, is that we have an inability to listen to the land, listen to spirit, listen. And like, you might think I'm crazy, and that's fine. But I think when the ships came here in the late 1800s and they just kind of wiped everything out, I think we would have been in a much better place had we kept and that local Coast Salish ancient knowledge, right? And then you take what we have now, this technology and this intelligence, and I think that we would have been further ahead. And I honestly think that's the place where we do get ahead in this life societally, is that when spirituality and ancient knowledge there's a bridge between the intelligence that we hold now with AI and tech and the old knowledge, and if you put it together. But so this is the video, this is the area. About 98% of the people watching my content, they have not subscribed. So if you're into content like this, subscribe. Next week, going to be dropping a video about prepping my buddy's Rossboro RF 246, getting prepared for our backcountry trip and the next season of exploration. Going to do a backcountry trip in May that I'll take you along, where I'm developing a secret spot where hopefully I can create some kind of bushcraft cabin, and there's a surf spot there, and just kind of be able to shed the city. And yeah, so like, subscribe, comment, and see you later.